Sovereignty and the Constitution of India. Let's see the meaning of the word sovereignty first. Sovereignty literally means to possess supreme or ultimate power over a state, to have a kind of authority over a state, to have authority over its polity, that whatever decisions that you want to make, there's no one to question you. That is what you should do or what you should not do, or how you are doing it and why you are not doing it. It is something like that. In the Constitution of India, on the first thing, that is the preamble, we have this word written as the first keyword, sovereign. Now, it implies that India is neither a dependency and nor a dominion. Now, the meaning of dependency is to be a colony of some other country, and to be a dominion means to be controlled by any other country, to be controlled by any other country. For example, if we have let's say a country A and then we have a country B, let's say these are the two countries, then if the country A is using country B for its resources and taking all these resources back, then country B is the colony of country A. And the other case is when the country A is using his control, its political control over country B to dictate its polity, then it will be called as the dominion. So in that sense, we can say that India is neither a dependency nor a dominion, but rather an independent state, which can take its decision by its own, and there's no one that they should ask for. Well, we cannot say that India was always sovereign, but rather we should say that it was a colony or a dependency before 15th of August, that is India's Independence Day, or rather, or we can say till the passage of the Indian Independence Act, which was passed by the British Parliament in 1947, India used to be a colony, or rather a dependency of Britain or British Empire. Then later on, after the passage of this bill, India became a dominion of the British Empire. That is, in between this era, it was a dominion, till 26th of January 1950, when the Constitution of India actually got passed, when it was accepted and enacted. And after that, India became a real sovereign, when it was ready to take all its decision by its own, and there was no role of British Empire or British government in that. So in simple words, we can say India ceased to be a British dominion on January 26th, 1950, by declaring herself a sovereign republic as written in the preamble here, sovereign and republic. We will be discussing these terms, socialist, secular and democratic, and all other things, all other keywords, preamble, later in the later videos. Well, it is notable to mention that the country Pakistan, which also got independent on 15th of August, or rather 14th of August, as they celebrated on that day. So after 14th of August 1947, they were still a dominion of the British Empire. Until 1956, they still were under the British dominion. Although we can say that sovereignty means to have full control or full authority over something, but we cannot rule out pressures or influences by the outer media. For example, if we are a country, let's say we have a government. Let's say this is our country A, and we have this government, and there's another country B, or there's another government B, or another country, let's say C, or there could be a political group or a political or a pressure group, let's say D. So this is the main country, what we are saying as sovereign, and it is taking all its decision by her own or by its own. But yes, the country B can always influence the country C. Let's say the country B has a good kind of infrastructure, structure. So if country B has a good kind of infrastructure, then country A can always check, or always they can copy, or they can always get influenced by the infrastructure of the country B. Or if there's country C, let's say, or there's a government institution, like, or rather an international institution like UNO, United Nations Organization, then it can say that, hey country A, what you are doing in your country is not good for the whole society or for the whole mankind, and you should stop it, or you should not do it. We can just advise you for that. And or rather, in that sense, country D can also say, okay, if you are doing that thing, what UNO is suggesting that you should not do it, and if you still do it, then I will not go for any kind of business with you. So I won't do any kind of business with you. So we can say that in such a case, they are creating pressure over them. So it's an external pressure that these countries are creating, or these government institutions are creating over country A. So this is what we can say, that instead that country A is a sovereign country, and it can take all its, or it can manage all its decision. But yes, we cannot rule out the word influence and the word pressure from taking its decisions. Well, it is interesting to note that although India got independence in 1947, but it still continued, or rather it went ahead to have a membership with the British Commonwealth of Nations. And it was already a member of United Nations Organization since 1945. It was a member of UNO, which is an international organization, and it became a partner, or it became a member of the British Commonwealth of Nations in 1949. As India was a young country which just got out from the rules of colonial powers, rather in the imperial powers, it became highly debatable, it became highly questionable that why India has joined the British Commonwealth of Nations once again, and that is why they have acquired the membership of the Commonwealth of Nations, and accepted the British Crown as the head of the Commonwealth of Nations. Well, this was always a question of debate in the Constituent Assembly in those times. As India was a new country, it just got independence from the British government, and now they have accepted the British Crown once again as the head of the Commonwealth of Nations, where it is a member by in itself. Well, it is worthy enough to mention here that the acceptance of Commonwealth of Nations in no way constitutional anyway, or rather we can say it is extra constitutional. It is extra constitutional, that is, it is not mentioned in the Constitution of India anywhere. And to diminish the fears of the Constituent Assembly in those times, the Prime Minister of India at that time, that is Jawaharlal Nehru, the former Prime Minister, he said on the question of sovereignty that we have achieved it. Does a nation lose its independence by an alliance with another country? Alliance normally means commitments. The free association of the sovereign Commonwealth of Nations does not involve such commitments. Its very strength lies in its flexibility and its complete freedom. It is well known that it is open to any member nation to go out of the Commonwealth if it so chooses. It is an agreement by free will to be terminated by free will. Well, these are the famous quotes by Jawaharlal Nehru on the question of joining the membership of the Commonwealth of Nations. And also we can say that the joining of UNO, the international organization, is also a no way question on the sovereignty of India. As many a times India has opposed the rulings or opposed the decisions made by UNO in the past 50 or 60 years after the independence. So we can say that India's membership with UNO also is no way constitutes a limitation on her sovereignty. Well, the above what we have said was all technical. Let's see what sovereign actually means in layman's term. It simply means that being a sovereign country, India can acquire a territory and acquire a foreign territory, or it can cede a foreign territory. It can just give away its own territory to some other country by its own free will. They need not take any kind of decision or any kind of help from any other person or any other country or government. For example, the case of Sikkim. Sikkim used to be a foreign territory in 1947 when India actually came to independence, But in 1975, Sikkim got incorporated into the main political map of India, and it became an integral part of India. So this was acquiring a territory, that what India has done with Sikkim, which is in the northeastern side of India on the global map. As we know that India got independence in 1947, and before that it was ruled by the British government and by all its acts and created by the British Parliament. But unlike that, as the Constitution of India was ordained by the people of India through their representatives assembled in the Sovereign Constituent Assembly, which was competent to determine the political future of the country in any manner that they liked. So the words like "we the people of India do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this constitution," it simply determines that the people of India thus declare the ultimate sovereignty and the constitution rests on the authority. Well, this was the concept of sovereignty with respect to the constitution.